Chapter 45. Adam made sure his parents were absolutely dead to the world before he left his room. He crept through the quiet, dark hallway toward the foyer. The only sound was the refrigerator's hum. He grabbed his mom's car keys off the hook by the door, slowly opened the front door, and hopped in the car. He was wary of driving this beat-up old thing and prayed it wouldn't break down. Mom always parked in the yard, near her and Dad's bedroom window, and Adam knew he was too small and weak to push the car down the street before starting it, so he hoped and prayed the ignition wouldn't wake them. Even if it did, he doubted they would remember him stealing the car later on. It wasn't a significant event. He turned the key and the Honda roared to life. He immediately put the car in gear and drove onto the snow-covered street. He could barely see over the steering wheel, but he could see enough. He turned left onto a long-ass road, a road that made him extremely lonely on this cold, dark night, and then turned left to get to Windsor Meadow Road. After a few minutes, he remembered to put on his seatbelt. The car made a lot of noise whenever he pressed the gas, and the heater only blew out cool air, but he had his nice little winter coat, beanie, and gloves, so he wasn't complaining. He drove down the steep hill and past the mountain, then pulled into the school's parking lot. He parked in the drop-off pickup lane, which was the closest he could get to the playground, and turned off the car. In a perfect world, he would have left it running, but he didn't know how long it would take him to find what he was looking for, and he didn't want to waste any more gas. The needle was hovering over empty. He ran around to the back of the building and was instantly in the playground. He stood at the trench's entrance and looked around. He hopped up to the equipment and searched there. The swings, jungle gym, playhouse. Everywhere he could remember playing with Ollie and Karen. Karen's glasses had to be somewhere. A noise from behind startled him. Adam spun around and looked at the edge of the school. He was still getting used to having perfect vision at this age. He would get his first pair of glasses at age 13, and could just barely see the car's hatchback from here. His hearing was just as good, and he could have sworn he heard footsteps in the snow. He heard nothing now, though, so he went back to searching. He made his way to the end of the trench, where the race had concluded. The three had spent a few minutes down there discussing whether or not Adam had cheated. He vividly remembered Karen putting her glasses in her pocket before the race, at the start of the trench. He hopped down and searched the mush and snow and mud. After a couple of minutes, he found what he was looking for. The glasses were dirty, the lenses misted, but they were unharmed. He held on to them, not wanting to make the same mistake Karen had by putting them in his pocket and risking losing them again, and started toward the trench's entrance once again. He managed to get home without any incidents. He parked the car in the front yard, using the indent it had left in the snow before he left. He then jogged over to Karen's house and lightly tapped on her window, which faced the front of the house. After 2 minutes, she finally appeared. "What?" she asked groggily, rubbing her eyes. They both sat on their knees on either side of the window. "I found your glasses," Adam said quietly. "You left them in the playground." She took the glasses from him, smiling. "Thank you. I'll tell Daddy I found them under my bed." Adam smiled at her quick thinking. Hopefully, by tomorrow morning, she would no longer be grounded. "Did you go to school to get my glasses?" Karen suddenly asked. Adam grew nervous at the question. Sure, Karen was only 8, and she shouldn't think that what he'd done was weird, but he felt he was crossing into dangerous territory by lingering here. Hopefully she would forget about this. He also prayed the glasses wouldn't magically return to the playground after a few minutes. "Yes, but it wasn't a big deal. Go back to sleep. I'll see you tomorrow." "Okay," she said with a smile.